5-6 hours of the race. I probably did a year's worth of thinking too.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go!
This race isn't what I had hoped it would be. But the last 50K was maybe exactly what I needed to grow as an ultra athlete. Sorry if I don't hold on.
It's okay, just do your best.
Harnessing and leaning more into this idea of being completely screwed and working through it. And it's like, well, we're still here for a job. We still got to dig positives out of it.
Yeah, Jim, something has gone. Jim's having a tough time right now.
It's a part of yourself that you're not going to find out in training. It's really a race environment that allows a safety net. Yeah, we're in Les Ouches right now. We're trying to avoid Chamonix.
And it is right in the middle of the craziness of UTMB week.
The madness, the circus, the festival, all the energy that is UTMB week. Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting to be back in Chamonix because I feel like at the end of the race last year, I kind of left a little frustrated and not very happy with how things went. So the clock started from a year out.
Jim Walmsley is the person who has the best chance to win.
Planning, prepping, making decisions, changing life.
It's definitely not a typical race season for Jim, but it's what he's going to need to succeed in UTMB.
Should be a lot smoother this year.
So, this is the UTMB course. It's pretty simple, right? There's just, you go through 3 countries, run around the map, and you're back in Chamonix. So the UTMB course, Mont Blanc is the central point to the course, and you go through 3 different countries. You start in Chamonix, which is the gorgeous alpine village where most of the races toe the start line.
But then the gun goes off.
And then you run around in a counterclockwise direction.
Then you immediately hit a little bump into Les Ouches, into Saint-Gervais, and then you make a windy trail up to La Contamine, and then you hit your crew. So that'll be about 3 hours in, and then the mountains start, the race starts, the night gets dark.
And then heading into Italy.
And I think Italy is the most beautiful, hardest part of the course.
And you climb out of Courmayeur to the highest point on the course called Grand Col Ferret.
You see your crew 6 hours later from Courmayeur.
Then you travel down into Switzerland and you make your way back around to Chamonix.
Basically, you got 3 little bumps to make your mark on the race.
And the finish line atmosphere is frenetic. And to watch somebody you care about cross that finish line is truly one of the coolest things.
I guess I've ran back into Chamonix one time back in 2017. I really want to experience that again. Yeah, I guess we could go 2 ways with who's my competition this year. I mean, first and foremost, I'm my competition. I really want to control my race, my thoughts. On paper though, obviously there's the other runners. The tactics are interesting because not many times in ultra running do we line up at a race and we have the depth that we have here at UTMB. Do you set a faster pace? Do you try to break someone early? Do you just wait and patient? Waiting and patience tends to be maybe the most foolproof plan, but I'm not one to give anyone too much of a leash in a race. More than any other year, my confidence to run through the night by myself is there like I've never had at UTMB. But my problem spot has been from Courmayeur to Grand Col Ferret. I haven't made it through there smoothly. That's a point that's going to be challenging and I need to be prepared for it. So, going through the mandatory gear. My guess is this bag has seen some wars and I have a feeling maybe it's one UTMB. I want to weigh the difference between the two. Yeah. 41.6 is mine. But
What's the gift?
Let's see.
Oh boy.
We got 6 grams. Might not be worth 6 grams. But it's a fun way to bring Francois with me. To race Killian again.
Going into this weekend, I think he does feel pretty confident. This being his 4th attempt, just being able to look back on those 3 years and kind of troubleshoot what went wrong and how you can move forward.
I think more than in years past, I have multiple goals for this year. Of course, winning is the primary goal, but I have so many more objectives in this race. To really experience the mountains, to survive the mountains, to get better and progress. They're all goals that are gonna help keep me probably in the race no matter what's happening. I hope, I feel, this is the year. So my wife Jess is gonna be crewing me this year.
I almost feel like I'm the glue of our 2-person team.
Jess crews me at all my races. I feel really confident with her helping me.
All the fun behind the scenes stuff like grocery shopping, meal preparation, driving logistics.
She kind of knows what to tell me and maybe what not to tell me. We work really well together.
Woo!
Cover it, cover it. I'm testing the temperature right now. It's gonna be warm. But you can tell me what you're doing. Before the race, they make you get in the corral about 30 minutes before. But then the energy at UTMB and the start line is at level 10 out of 10 for 30 minutes straight. A few of the other Americans and I found like some chairs off to the side. It was nice, and then I think on the race start I started maybe 5 people deep, which is nice because when you're on the very front of the line you just get pushed into this really kind of stupid pace because you hit a really sharp steep climb, 10K in 6 miles, so everything will come right back together. But then like once we get into the climbing it was pretty easy to find the front of the race, and then from there it kind of just went to setting the tempo for the most part.
Alright, so the plan for today is to assist Jim at all 5 crew checkpoints. The first is Lake Contamine, which is where we're currently at right now, and then we'll head over to Italy to go to Courmayeur, head over to Switzerland and go to Champex-Lac, and then Trient, which is also in Switzerland, and then hop over to France, which is Valourcine, the 5th and last assisted checkpoint before he finishes. It's got the splits here. I guess we'll be seeing Jim in Courmayeur around 2:52 a.m.
It's feeling good. In Lake Contamine, surprisingly, my legs didn't feel good. Not quite great, but we'll see how it unfolds. That was a little worrying, but it also felt like I just had so much invested in this. Of like, doesn't matter, here we're going. Mentally, I'm just trying to stay positive, positive, positive. Sounds like I was telling Jess this is gonna be the day. But yeah, then after Lake Contamine, starts to go night through Notre Dame de la Gorge, and basically went through a psychedelic dream for a few minutes. And there's these lights and tunnels, and HOKA essentially like just went full dance party mode for a quarter mile of the course. So you go through Col du Bonhomme, and then we drop into Les Chapures. That's where everybody from Arèche and Beaufort go. Francois was a little down the road, and he was positive and saying like, yeah, make sure you're keeping Killian honest on the downhills. And maybe I started to mentally cling on to that. The idea was if we can keep pressure, is that the fatigue of the whole year will catch up to Killian and he'll crack with that. And that's kind of where the real pressure started.
They will arrive anytime at night. Again, we repeat, Jim Walmsley and Killian Jordan.
Feeling good. You should be racing. After Courmayeur, we're running. We do a really steep climb up to Bretonne. Killian kind of set the pace. I think he thought he was gonna break me on an uphill. But then once we got to the balcony trail, Killian was slowing down and I was just like, all right, I'll lead some. And I started descending down Arnuva and he was just gone. And I'm like, he's having his low patch. Like, this is the dagger, like, let's go.
It's 6:24 a.m. None of us slept that much. Yeah, we're on our way to Champion-Lac and we've got word that he's feeling pretty good and he's starting to increase his lead and he is on track to run 19 hours and 40 minutes if he keeps up this pace, which would be, I believe, a new course record.
Yeah, I just got messages from people. They're like, just so you know, I think they're gonna gear check Jim in Champe. 99% positive I zipped up the back pocket where his mandatory gear thing was. Because in his spare bag, he had a little tiny Petzl headlamp and he had a tiny torch.
I see what you mean.
Does that count for 2?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I just need to trust that he knew what he was doing. You want to have a seat?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to change?
Yeah.
Soup? Gotta keep eating, okay?
I need to do something. I'm not eating too much.
Okay.
I'm drinking, but...
Okay. All right, it's okay. They're 15 minutes back behind you. Matthew Blanchard strong and got up to Killian. Killian's not feeling good. Okay, I have broth, melon, potatoes, potato chips. Let's try and regroup, okay?
I'm really down. My quads are going.
It's okay. You had to eat to move, okay? Okay, here you go. What do you want? Okay. I'll get the arm sleeves back in your pack and the lighter long sleeve next. Okay?
Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Okay, we got this. He didn't have his arms. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, it's exciting. The last third of the race is always unpredictable sometimes, but I think Jim is strong enough to hold them off. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's hurting when they get into Champion-Lac. I mean, it's late. You've done a lot of climbing, a lot of descending. It's also nice because you're getting sunrise. I think I realized when I left, though, once I started hitting a steeper uphill, that the dig broke me. I think on paper, a lot of people really look at that descent as a place you can exploit a big move in the race, but it's also a potential to lose your race. But I think essentially I either needed more patience because I probably put in 10 minutes to Killian just on that descent. From that point on, my quads completely were done. 0 up. I sat in a creek to try to refresh my legs a little bit when Killian came by. And he's like, oh, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just not moving so well anymore. And then like another minute later, Matthew came by and I don't know if the low moment really came before or after they passed, like, because I guess I knew I had broken before they had passed me, but I also knew like the house was crumbling a lot worse than that.
But Simone said he's not injured, right? Or he doesn't really know. And it's been over 10 minutes since Killian and Matthew passed through, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. People in the live feed said something about a possible injury, but I don't know, other people were saying it looked like he was just bonking crazy hard, so. The tracker says he's coming down from the coal.
Yeah.
On here.
Oh, Fingerneed's showing up.
Yeah. Just now? Okay, awesome. We'll see him on the bridge here soon.
Well, I saw it in Triant, and basically like how the race was going in Champion-Lac versus Triant was completely upside down from being on the aggressive to like, this is not going good. We have a really big problem. I wasn't getting in calories at all, kind of its own like downward spiral, and the more you try to push through it, sometimes the worse it gets. It was like, all right, I've done this before, I've bonked so bad, and I've come back and I've been able to like make up ground again, like I can do this. And then I hit the hill right out of the city, and I'm like, huh. Not happening, like there's just no up at all. So from Triant, is one step at a time, like going uphill. Like that's what I had. There was enough positivity to move a little bit on the flats and then start rolling it down the hill. So then I got to Valacine and was like, well, we're here. Like, what's the status behind me?
I think Jim is having a really tough time rebounding and finding the energy to keep pushing at the speed that Mathieu and Killian are pushing. He's fallen pretty far behind them. Okay. Alrighty, what can I do for you? Can you pound a Coke?
No, I ate too much at the last aid station.
What? You haven't eaten anything. What do you want? I haven't eaten much. I heard Matthew's falling back, but Zach and Tom are gaining on you.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hold them all.
It's okay. Just do your best. You're doing great, okay? You got it. It's fine.
That's kind of where like Jess's like compassionate side came out. That kind of maybe what I needed is a hug from her more than anything, and that was nice.
Do you need 3 bottles? No, here.
I need an extra powder.
Okay.
No, it's not going well.
It's okay.
It's okay, I don't need it.
All you have to do is keep moving, okay?
Yeah.
You don't need any caffeine. Do you have caffeine?
Sorry if I don't, hold on.
No, it's fine. Can you take
where do I
anything
go?
with you? You're gonna go back out this way.
Okay.
Do you take anything with you? It's okay. Everybody's so proud of you. You got this. It's okay.
Yeah, I left the aid station. I felt like I was moving okay on the flat before you just hit probably the steepest climb of the course. Several times, more than anything, just a laugh came out of like, this is where I'm at. I just have one speed and it's forward. We're moving, we're gonna get to Chamonix, but we're gonna get to Chamonix once I cross the line, not any time before that. And just accepting that, and people were really, really loving and encouraging.
Yeah, he should be arriving in Chamonix in less than 30 minutes. So we'll be welcoming him back to Cham with big open arms, and I can't wait to give him a big hug.
Jim Walmsley clocking 21 hours, 12 minutes and 12 seconds for a 4th place finish here at the UTMB.
In the last probably 6 hours of the race, I probably did a year's worth of thinking too. This race isn't what I had hoped it would be, especially during the majority of the race. I believed that I was going to win out there, but the last 50K was maybe exactly what I needed to basically grow as an ultra athlete. Harnessing and leaning more into this idea of being completely screwed and working through it. That's where I see where I can still have the most growth in myself. But through the night, through the cold, I think my preparation was so good. Where the true grit and the real shovel came out was the bonk happened, the blow up happened, the win wasn't going to happen. And it's like, well, we're still here for a job. We still got to dig positives out of it. But I need to go through this right now. I'm here for this experience. It's essentially a part of yourself that you're not going to find out much in training. It's really a race environment that allows like kind of a safety net to go that far. And one of my ideas to get better in the future is to try some either races, FKTs, or vision quests to try to stretch my elasticity of endurance and perseverance and digging. I think that will help put in perspective. UTMB is a little more manageable than it once was. So Jess kept me going. I think I've realized it more and more, like Cape Town or Madeira and UTMB especially. I think when I am grinding and things are going good or not so good, to get to see you and even making you give me kisses, sweaty kisses at aid stations. I think I got a kiss at every aid station.
I know, that's not normal.
But it was kind of, maybe it's the new normal. So I love you and thanks for being there in those moments.